blah blah. So we just watched the movie Isle of Dogs. It is a claymation video or movie. It was very impressive as one. Like, I've only seen like, dude, it's been a long time, but all the Gromit ones.
Mm-hmm. Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, there we go. Even to that, like, well, they all kind of look the same.
Have you seen Fantastic Mr. Fox or Chicken Run?
Oh, was Chicken Run one of them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, that was claymation. But this one was really good as far as the animation. That's what I'm pretty much going to be going on about throughout this discussion about the movie. Just like, it was just so clean. There was 3 particular parts of the movie I wanted to bring out. There's not really spoilers or anything like that, I would say.
All right.
But, or should we even just say like non-spoilery things, or should we just like go ahead and just give it our like opinion?
It's on you.
Okay, we'll just get our opinion first. So, I mean, it's fantastic. Like, as far as the effort to put fluid motion into these otherwise just still objects, from like the effects they use from what you were telling me about like the explosion, to just like having hair follicles like blow in the wind, to these long shots of, especially like with the camera just still, of seeing these performances such as just even the opening where it's like everyone beating to the drums.
That was really cool.
The 3 I wanted to point out, the sumo wrestling thing, the creation of that food, and then a transplant. And I was like, wow, dude. They took the time to just like
all the long uncut scenes.
Yeah. I actually really like that.
Mm-hmm. What would technically be considered a single shot scene.
Yeah, it would
in
be.
cinema, but it's stop motion, so
it's wow, it really just falls within the gray area. But yeah, it was really good, to the point where as I was driving us like back here, it felt weird to see everything just kind of move around in real life. Because I already got myself adjusted to like how fluid it was over there. Yeah, I would definitely recommend people would watch this.
Oh,
like, yeah. If I had to give it a rating, well, the story itself, it's okay. It's just about a person finding his dog in an isle of forgotten dogs. So I mean, the story won't really grab you that much, but it's a narrative that will like push the sequences forward to a point where it actually gives you enough to. It gives a lot of direction for the creators to like come up with all these different like sets and whatnot, and portray like different situations that you probably wouldn't even expect. But but yeah, the plot's just okay. I'm now more self-conscious because I know that Nye watches these, and he was like, no, player 1 was just totally meh. I don't know. This was so fun. I think this is kind of similar to Ready Player One, where the story doesn't really grab me. It's just like the visual aesthetic of everything.
It's a very simple fetch quest.
Yeah, it really is.
Fetch quest / escort mission. It's real good. I liked it. Atari went through some shit.
Yeah, he really did. Like
right off the bat, he gets fucked up in a plane crash, and
he starts off in a really bad situation,
and thus begins his journey on the Isle of Dogs,
which was not too eventful in the sense of him traveling around, but just like during like key points that a lot of things happen. A lot of characterization for Atari is kept pretty simplistic, considering the fact that all the characters, except for a few of them, speak Japanese, and they do that knowing that probably a lot of people like in an American audience probably won't be able to pick it up, but it does it pretty well in a sense. Oh well, they make up for it with like different ways of like translating it, or just like giving you visual cues of like, oh, okay, that's what it meant.
Yeah, either there's enough context for you to understand what the gist of what they're saying is, or someone's translating it, or the dogs themselves are like, okay, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, guys, we're gonna be doing this. This
is like, no, we take a vote on it. The dogs themselves were really cool as characters.
Great characters.
Like, that's one of my favorite things about the movie, was just the side commentary from like our 5 like dog pack. It's just a shame though that later on they're not too focused on, especially near the end, where it changes focuses on other dogs and stuff like that. For what you get like from them, like the first say 30 minutes of the movie.
I'd say the whole first. It was the
like,
first 2 acts of the movie.
Okay, yeah.
The first 2 acts were about them. The last 2 acts were
about
other things.
If I had to like give this a rating, like out of 10, I would
8.2.
I would go with a 7.5. Like, and a lot of that is just the animation. That's really good, and the story, like, it's okay. It's okay. It's definitely one of those ratings. So I would say, like, go watch it. Just give it a watch.
What if I don't want to?
Oh, then I guess I'll have to bump it down to like, let me see, 4.5.
Whoa.
No, it's good. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, definitely a solid movie. Beautiful animation, excellent attention to detail. Their dedication to staying true to the characters, even knowing that it would be an international movie. Just the quips that they threw in there as well. Just knowing the context of who their characters are in terms of, well, these are dogs, and another in terms of, well, this is a borderline family movie.
Yeah, it's borderline. Cause
it's kind of like, it's up there with like the first Shrek movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not an adult movie, but it's definitely not a kid's movie. It falls somewhere in like
in the middle.
The like pre-teens to
like
mid-adolescence.
I would even say like Marvel movie like level of like family friendliness, where a kid can totally watch this, but adults can definitely enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Where there's a bit of violence, but it doesn't like get too like involved in that. But it still tells a story, and still what's the word? It still grabs your attention still, no matter what your age is.
All right, guys. Next bit that's gonna come up is gonna be covering spoiler territory. If you don't want to deal with any of that, go ahead and skip to the end of the video where we do our little outro, and yeah.
Just the very beginning of the movie, though, when I realized, like, oh, this is not just like a super family-friendly movie, was the fact that Chief like bit the ear off of the other dog, and the funny bit was just like, hey, I think he just bit a little bit of your ear off. He's like, he just walks off.
What's he gonna do? Put it back on? I don't know. I think one of my best bits was that was the thing that probably shook the whole audience, which is when they got separated and mid conversation right into the compactor, composter, and incinerator.
All in vote of, and I was like, oh, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
And I was like, what? They're dead. It's very real in the sense of there's no real pacing to it.
Yeah.
It's just things happen when they happen, whether you like it or not.
There's a lot of comedy to be then expected out of this movie. And the type of comedy it's kind of like an observation of like real life things that could happen, and how people like in their world pay no mind to it, but we're like busting off laughing. I mean, granted, there's a lot of like mediums that show a character doing funny things, but it's not funny to them.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be funny for us anyway. And I guess that's how I can describe it, but for some reason, it's like plot, joke. Plot, joke. Like nonchalant, just jokes.
Yeah,
fired.
and it's not even like in your face kind of jokes like how Marvel movies are, where it's like where it's like, all right, we're real serious. All right, breaking the tension. Haha. Okay, then we're back to what we're doing. This is more like, all right, things are happening. Wait, what the fuck just happened right now? It's more stuff that's gonna catch you off guard and make you think twice about, what did I just see? It doesn't spark the ha-ha laugh. It sparks the more uneasy, caught off guard type of laugh.
Yeah.
The deviation type laugh where you're expecting one thing and then it's complete left field turn from nowhere that gets you laughing.
I think I don't think it's meant to be as funny as it was, but when Atari speaks like single words and they're meant to be like English words, like he just like whispers it into your ear for the entire audience, but he's obviously talking to one of the dogs as he feeds them.
Dude, He pulled a piece of propeller out of his head.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's like, and even the dog's like, oh.
Immediately passes out. And then he gets shot in the head later in the movie.
Oh my god, dude. Like,
and immediately passes out.
Like, I feel bad for this guy. He just wants to find his dog.
Who was dead because they couldn't open it.
Oh yeah, like,
it needs a key.
The moment he opened that door,
there's always that one guy who has to get that word in. It needs a key. Yeah, he was a great guy. You know, he made a lot of friends, told a lot of jokes. People loved him, really. You just couldn't get him out of his cage.
Oh, the funny bit where Chief meets up with Nutmeg, and it's like, can you show a trick? Like, here's one. You just got to imagine it because I don't have it right here.
Oh, I can see it.
Those caught off guard jokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I can imagine it. I will say, one of the surprising things in the movie was the fact that, well, one, Chief, when bathed, looks just like Spots.
Yeah.
And obviously that comes down to like later on in the spoilers where it was like, oh, well, I'm your older brother of 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he had it down. Born in zone like this, 5 minutes apart. It's been a long time. Kept you waiting, huh?
6 years ago today, in a like a gutter somewhere in downtown, mega something or other. Do you remember me? No. I'm your older brother of 5 minutes. It's been a long time.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Was I the runt? Not anymore.
Was I the runt?
You're pretty good.
You're pretty good. That and the fact that Spots, who was like assigned as Atari's bodyguard and, well, dog, and how he did pass on the mantle to Chief, and I was actually really expecting that. I was thinking it would just be a reunion, but you know, Chief would also be part of that little pack. But I guess, yeah, Spots found his own like obligations like within his own pack. It's kind of sad, just because it's weird because I don't see how like Atari understands dogs, but they can.
Right. That was something that kind of like bugged me. The whole movie was like, you understand them somehow.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that when they're on the tram and whatnot, they're right there. Atari, I'm gonna grab you and pull you off since you can't understand us, and then we'll continue the plan.
Right. Like, the dogs are smart enough to understand, like, Atari pointing at certain things, like, okay, we get it. Like, you are looking for this dog named Spots. But they don't all the way, like, understand him.
Yeah. For the most part, they don't understand him. Spots understands him.
Yeah. It's because he's bilingual.
Right?
He's a bodyguard.
He has to know. With his 20/30 hearing.
20/30 hearing, military issued, like, teeth.
Exploding bullet teeth.
Technically, I can shoot 34, but I wouldn't be able to chew on meat.
Yeah, dude, they replaced all of his teeth. The exploding bullet teeth.
When they first showed that, like, like, oh my god.
They found a way to give a dog a gun.
And they don't bite people with it; they just shoot it. Right?
I love the fights in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
It turns into a freaking 1950s cartoon cloud rumble.
I'll be right back.
Hold on. Let's at least open the sack first and see if it's worth fighting over.
By the way, first of all, that was a very impressive shot of like all the maggots like crawling in animation, but that was also really gross. Someone might say wrong. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I'd recognize that scene on what's it called, from Instagram.
Oh really?
Someone did like a hand-drawn version of it, and I was laughing the whole time. I'm like, all right.
It's definitely a fun movie, especially knowing that it's an adventure of talking dogs and just one boy. And these are all, except for Chief, they're all like owned dogs before.
Well, Chief was owned before. That's
true, but it was kind of it was told later on. But at the very beginning, we just assumed of him as like the stray dog, the one who doesn't even care about humans. He was always the one who was saying,
I
like,
bite.
I bite, and I don't care about this little pilot. But it didn't even matter though because they had democracy going on with that pack. All in favor of this? Aye, Nate. It was a good thing that we got a majority. I just love that ensemble of dogs. It was just such a shame that it definitely shifted focus to Spots and Chief and like his own like army of what was mistaken to be like full on cannibals.
Right. They ate one dog.
It's like
several months ago.
Are you gonna eat me? Boy, that was just once. Just once.
We ate one dog a few months ago because we were starving.
But yeah, that rumor just permeated throughout the entire island to the point where it's like, yeah, good luck with that. You're probably safer than I am. And he walks off.
Fucking Rex, dude. How does he have all this gossip?
Yeah, I heard about this and this, and I heard about this and this. Yeah, how do you... where are you getting these rumors? I just, I'm always listening. Also, the bigger dog and the smaller one. One of them was the smaller one was Oracle.
Jupiter and Oracle.
She has fortune powers. She just watches the news and understands it.
Yeah.
I love how Jupiter, as he's giving dogs like whatever drink he was given, he was the one who's kept on drinking it. There was also a funny bit, like the first time Chief and Nutmeg like first meet, was like, I wouldn't drink that. My little sister drank it. She has a black tongue.
Yeah, my sister-in-law drank some of that. Her tongue turned black. He proceeded to take another drink.
Oh yeah.
Such a fun movie.
It's so weird with Atari as a character because you don't really hear him talk a lot in the movie. So like when the final stuff happens, you see like a much more political side of him versus just like biscuit. And you're my dog. He doesn't really say that, but
you my boy, Blue. All that anime. It helped me understand like one out of every 30 words that came out of his mouth.
Right.
I got like, you're my dog. I'm looking for something. Do you want to take the responsibility from your brother?
Like
small phrases.
Yeah.
But man, that kid talked 1,000 words a second. I was lucky to pick out the words that I knew.
He could just like throw in like an umawa moshindu somewhere.
I wouldn't have noticed.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This is a fun movie, so I still would recommend people watching it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially since it's a claymation movie. No one like really makes those because of like the effort put into it. It takes years to create something like that.
Right?
Storyboarding and everything like that.
Honestly, they're all works of passion because with the amount of time that you pour into it, the money you make at the end, it almost doesn't make up for it.
But I hope it's received well, like overseas as well.
I think it is.
It should.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely catered to like an English-speaking and Japanese-speaking audience.
Just an international audience in general.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they're going to handle it on other countries with different languages, though. A lot of it is like Japanese fixated like culture and stuff like that. And just based on like the native language there. So I'm wondering
if anything, they might, they might change the voices of the dogs depending on what area they go to, definitely. I think you were asking that before I interrupted you, was like, how would it go in Japan? Would they all speak Japanese, or would the dogs speak another language, or would everything just catch on fire?
That's a really good question because it's so Pacific that everyone speaks Japanese except for the dogs, and the dogs are supposed to be the people we look to for as translation or an outside party. I think they'll still keep it as is, but subtitle it depending on the language that's being spoken. That's been the case for like a lot of anime as well. We have like that random like English speaking guy. They'll always have like a Japanese subtext like underneath. God, I remember Prince of Tennis all over again. They have a good bit of English in there. Hey, do you play tennis? Well, who the heck are you?
It's got nothing on Ping Pong the animation. There was a Chinese guy in there who spoke Cantonese, and so he would speak, and there'd be Japanese subtitles, and underneath the Japanese subtitles would be English subtitles.
Oh my god! At least they're keeping it like formal about that instead of trying to like overdub that person. Is there anything else to add about this movie?
Not really. We kind of covered most of it, both our unspoilery opinions and then our favorite points that may have covered spoiler territory.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. It's still a fun movie. Recommend it. But yeah, I guess we'll just end it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to know more of our movie discussions and whatnot, please be sure to subscribe. There's also a subscriber bell button. If you hit that, it'll let you know when we upload videos by a minute. And also support our Patreon. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. #bye everyone.
And before you do that, let's do a quick little audio recording right here.